Temba Mliswa has responded to Joshua Mapfumo after Joshua Mapfumo wrote a lengthy, was it an essay, pleading for Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa to grant pardon to Thomas Mapfumo. Thomas Mapfumo, has agreed to perform in Zimbabwe, whereby he's going to be paid money amounting to $1 million US dollars. But we know he has been very critical of the ZANU-PF government. All of a sudden, he decided to change and said he was going to perform in Zimbabwe, citing that this was work, it's not money given. He was going to be actually paid for the work undertaken. There are quite a number of debates surrounding this. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hloniphani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss our exciting analysis as well as news. So, Temba Mliswa responding to this ZANU-PF fellow Maponga. This is what he had to write. And unfortunately was throwing Rutendo Matinyarare under the bus. But who cares when these ZANU-PF people wants to eat each other? I wish they could do so and finish each other, and then we are left with a progressive and democratic Zimbabwe. It says, Muzukuru, I understand your concerns. They are both genuine and commendable as you seek to facilitate the seamless re-entry of a remarkable artist, but also the fact that these individuals are asking the president to actually facilitate smooth entry for Mapfumo, because there is no crime that he has committed. If he is critical of the government, that is not a crime. Citizens must criticize their government. There is freedom of expression in Zimbabwe. The president should carry all the insults of the people of Zimbabwe. A president, especially that is voted and is a servant of the people. But well, for ZANU-PF, if you speak against their leader, it is rendered a criminal offense. So there is no charge for Mapfumo, but already they are discussing about him as if he committed any crime. There is no crime that he committed. It's not a crime to criticize the ZANU-PF government, but they criminalize this because we are led by thugs. If you tell them that they are thugs, they render that as a crime, but it's not a criminal offense that one should be punished for. So Temba Mliswa, he highlights that, but it's not a clean fellow also. Why should the president intervene? The fact that they are pleading for Mnangagwa to intervene in a man without even a case who criticized the ZANU-PF government shows that the judicial system of Zimbabwe is highly compromised. He continues to say, however, I find myself questioning the implications of the president's involvement in what may appear as an act of exonerating or pardon for someone who has not actually faced any legitimate charges under the current administration. He has no case to answer with the current government. This stands in stark contrast to the case of Rutendo, who publicly insulted and disrespected the president, warranting a different response entirely. Now one wonders, how did the name of Rutendo find itself there? Anyway, it's part of ZANU-PF, and this goes on to show you that within ZANU-PF there is misunderstanding between Chiwenga and also Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Not only that, also these people who are seemingly united to support Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, they don't like each other as one would have expected and anticipated. There is a serious rift between these individuals. Now, it goes further to say, before we hastily leap to solutions, we must first consider whether there exists a viable case against Mapfumo. You astutely noted that Mapfumo faced significant challenges during the First Republic. In this, the Second Republic, unless there are pending legal issues, there should be no cause for him to fear a return, nor any necessity for presidential intervention. Mzembe managed to return and was absolved in a manner that leaves no shadow over his reputation. So, also, I think Thomas Mapfumo must be very careful. You see, ZANU-PF does not forgive. And Temba Mliswa here, they are trying so desperately to lure Thomas Mapfumo, of which he appears to have actually agreed to go back and perform in Zimbabwe. But anything is possible with ZANU-PF. Muzembe had a deal with Emerson Mnangagwa. He thought he was going to meet him. When he came to Zimbabwe, all of us, when we were warning him, the man was arrested. He was just free for a day. Afterwards, when he unveiled himself, they arrested him, locked him up for 8 months. Obviously, he did not have a crime. Criticizing a government is not a crime. They will have to find something that you did corruption in such a way, you did APCT against the government. And then when that matter goes to a normal SEN court, it will actually dismiss the matter, but you would have spent some days and some time in prison. So hearing individuals like Temba Mliswa appearing to give an impression that Thomas Mapfumo has no case to answer. Guys, this is ZANU-PF. Don't say I did not warn. There is why would Wicknell Chiva even go to an extent of offering 1 million? 1 million for performance and render him the best ever to be paid artist in Zimbabwe. This on its own should tell you something. It should tell you the why. There is a reason why they are luring him. They are discussing this on social media so that he feels at ease and go to perform. We hope he would be the lucky one. But what we know, there is no difference between the so-called First Republic and Second Republic. It's just one and the same thing. Emerson Mnangagwa was a close ally of Robert Gabriel Mugabe, advising him on actions that, in fact, it was Mnangagwa who recommended individuals like Thomas Mapfumo to be targeted. Today, to think that Mnangagwa was better than Mugabe and walk into his doors thinking that he will forgive is the worst. He is the worst ever president to happen in Zimbabwe, and that should be on record. There is definitely an agenda, in my view, against Thomas Mapfumo. But anyway, his supporters will think that we are jealous. We're not jealous, some of us. We work hard for our money. We work extremely hard and we are content. There is absolutely nothing that can lure us to ZANU-PF. I think when you look at me, I need nothing from ZANU-PF. What I need is a better Zimbabwe that works for everybody. That works for everybody. We don't want this Zimbabwe that continually goes down. And we want a Zimbabwe where everybody is free, where Thomas Mapfumo cannot just be lured by money, but can be hired. Even he's loved by a lot of Zimbabweans. Even if he organizes his own concert, it can clock up to 1 million. He's loved by a lot of people in Zimbabwe, and he's respected. He doesn't have to bow down to ZANU-PF to make that particular money. If there is a concert today, without even Wicknell Chiva paying him $1 million, he organizes it himself. People will go and support it. He's at the level of individuals such as Oliver Mtukudzi in Zimbabwe. People love him. But the country There are many people who are doing well in Zimbabwe. If they go back, that country could actually take off within a very short space of time. But we don't have an ethical government, a government that respects the people, a government that respects the rule of law. That's where the problem is. And you can invest your money, they steal your money. You can't go you can't go anywhere to actually resolve the case. That is why there is no investment. They are struggling to get any meaningful except Chinese investment, which is aiming at looting our resources. Now, it goes on to say, you actually noted that Mapfumo faced, okay, let me continue the other one. It says, yet should any legal complications indeed arise, we must be cautious to avoid entangling the president in the obstruction of justice. The legal system remains an avenue through which one can seek vindication if faced with unfounded accusations. You see, I have known the president to be a figure who upholds his authority responsibly and refrains from abuse of power. He's lying, Temba Mliswa. Anyway, we know he's paid and he's taking. In private spaces, he speaks differently than what he's speaking now. In my own experience of political persecution, he simply advised me to secure competent legal counsel despite our familial connections. As a trained lawyer, he does not tolerate the misuse of proximity to him for personal gain. Thus, let us be watchful not to abuse the president's kindness or use his name to shield our indiscretions, as many are doing. Rather, let professionalism guide our actions. It has been disheartening to witness systematic failures within state security that has allowed individuals to exploit his name while engaging in illicit activities. To the CIO, I would like to caution that when the president entrusts someone with duty, they ought to fulfill it earnestly and professionally. It is sober to be fired for doing one's job than to second guess the president's intention and failing to do as required. There is no need for speculation regarding who should or should not be apprehended. Too many criminals are benefiting from this due to their closeness to the president, which undermines justice. For the record, the president does not condone criminal enterprises. What we require is that the CIO operates with efficacy and integrity, irrespective of one's proximity to the president. Being one of the same tribe, a family, it weighs upon me to see individuals abusing his name, and I feel compelled to defend him. Having served as the Mashonaland West Provincial and DCC chairman in ZANU-PF, I understand the system, and it is imperative that we reform these practices in order to advance the vision of the country's leader. And now, to understand that people understand who Temba Mliswa is. Emerson Tambuso Mnangagwa is not a good man. There is one point they arrested Tumiso Tabengwa. And in order for Tumiso Tabengwa to be free, the option was for him to join ZANU-PF. Let me look at this. Let's hear Mnangagwa speaking under Mnangagwa. Under. So,
we determine who can do mining in Zimbabwe. We determine who can construct a railway line in Zimbabwe. We determine who can build a road in Zimbabwe. No other party can do so.
You see, that was Emerson Mnangagwa at one point speaking, saying they are everything. They are law enforcement. They determine who built the roads. They determine everything. They are law unto himself. That was Mnangagwa speaking during the reign of Robert Gabriel Mugabe. So what Temba Mliswa is speaking, that people are abusing his name, and also I think there is a debate, there must be a debate within ZANU-PF regarding Thomas Mapfumo, and he must be very, very careful. The current person who is the leader at the moment is not a forgiving fellow. Unfortunately, when we told these two individuals like Walter Mzembe, when they were going there, it appeared as if we were lying, but he was eventually arrested. Mnangagwa never. And these people that are silenced, lured through money, there is a reason they lure people through money. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. I don't know what's happening. My